ready.
Good afternoon, Senator. How are you today? Just for the record, I'm Senator Cierpiot from the 8th Senate District in Eastern Jackson County. I'm here to present Senate Joint Resolution 37. When Clean Missouri passed, it put a restriction on legislators and staff that prohibits them from lobbying for 2 years. The arguments for this on the elected seem clear, but not so much for staff. This SJR will make it so the restriction doesn't apply to them. I don't believe staff should be prohibited from future opportunities because Clean Missouri was intending to restrict legislators. This prohibition makes it hard for young staffers to move on after a senator is termed out. It also prohibits things like a doorman from lobbying and from taking opportunities that may present themselves. The General Assembly is beginning to have issues hiring experienced staff members because of the 2-year ban. It creates a real sacrifice for experienced staff that have a lot to offer but can't face this future restriction. I believe the entire revolving door part of Clean Missouri was intended as a sweetener to pass the actual language of redistricting. SJR will release our staff from that unfairness. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the committee? Tony? All right. Do we have a witness here in support? Anyone here in opposition? Anyone for informational purpose only? Seeing none, you recognize close.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Senator.
I hope you'll vote this out right now.
Yeah. Thank you. Senator, we will hear Senate Bill 274.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, members of the committee. Curtis Trent, representing Senate District 20. Senate Bill 274 is the guardrail language for the Convention of State. As I think everyone knows, Missouri is a signatory to the Convention of States for the purposes of things like term limits and balanced budget amendment and further regulatory reductions on the federal level. And if a convention is called, each state would submit commissioners to the convention to work on the substance of those amendments to the federal Constitution. So this bill is the same as the bill that passed out of this committee and out of the Senate in prior years, Senate Bill 1040 and Senate Bill 231 in 2022 and 2021. It's exactly the same language as before. It contemplates, again, how those commissioners are selected and methods of accountability for the General Assembly to maintain control over the convention process should a convention be successfully called for those purposes. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Senator May?
So how you doing, Senator? How are they selected?
Well,
Is it state or federal?
they would be selected here in the state to go to the convention to change the federal Constitution.
Okay, and how are they selected?
So the bill lays that out. The House of Representatives and the Senate select by adoption of concurrent resolution the commissioners and the alternates who meet the eligibility requirements described in the bill, which are then submitted to the General Assembly. And of the commissioners, some of the restrictions: at least 1/3 shall not be sitting members of the General Assembly. Of the alternatives, at least 1/3 shall not be sitting members of the General Assembly, and so forth. But it's all laid out there in the language.
Okay, I'll have to go through it very carefully.
And again, this is the language that has passed out of this committee and out of the Senate the last 2 years.
I probably didn't vote for it, though, did I?
I do not recall your vote, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, anyone here in support? please come forward and be sure you leave us a witness form. So we're going to go ahead and call the roll since we have a quorum.
Senator O'Laughlin,
Here.
Rowden, Brown, Eigel, Luke DeMeyer, May, Williams. We have quorum.
So we do have a quorum. Sorry, go ahead.
That's just fine. Good morning, Chairwoman O'Laughlin and members of the committee. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today and speak on behalf of this testimony. My name is Shelley Harrison, and I reside in the 31st District, and I also volunteer as a district captain for the Convention of States project. I am one of nearly 65,000 Missourians that are in support of this bill. Missouri is the 12th of 19 states that have passed the Convention of States Project Article 5 resolution to limit the size and scope of the federal government and to discuss term limits for federal officials and restore fiscal constraints. The goal is actually to return decision-making back to your offices and our local governments according to the United States Constitution. The next step is for you to determine how Missouri will select commissioners to represent Missouri at an Article 5 Convention of States meeting. This is what SB274 does. The language passed this committee twice, as Senator Trent has already said, and the Senate twice, and both House committees twice. As of today, the 19 states that have passed the Convention of States resolution and the underlying resolution is active in 18 states in this session and has advanced in several of the states. Missouri has an opportunity to lead here, to establish the commissioner selection process as the first Article 5 Convention of States meeting quickly nears. Thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today, and I ask that you advance SB 274 out of committee again for your vote on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any question of the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else in support? Okay. Mm-hmm.
You want me to read it for you?
Yep.
Sure. Marty Martinez, whether or not you are in support of the Convention of State, the fact is Missouri has agreed to attend. So sorry. Whether or not you are in support of the Convention of State, the fact is Missouri has agreed to attend the convention. The SB 274 bill is to make sure that the commissioners that will attend the convention are chosen by the Missouri legislators and are bound to obey the legislators' orders. And this is the witness of Rosendo Martinez, one of my colleagues with the Convention of States.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in support? Anyone in opposition? Anyone for informational purposes only? Seeing none. Senator?
Thank you for your time and for the committee's consideration.
Thank you. I move that we adjourn. Do I have a second? You did. Yep. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those in, yep. We are adjourned. Thank you.